If you have a lot of hair and you have a hard time with saving time on blow drying, stick around. I'm going to show you exactly the tools you need to use and how you can do a blow dry in 10 minutes or less. We'll see if we can do this. The tools that I'm going to be using today are the Olivia Garden HP blow dryer. So there's 3 steps basically to saving time on your blow dryer in general. And the 3 steps are prep, power dry, and polish. During your prep work, I'm going to be using the Olivia Garden detangle brush just so that I can make sure that there are no tangles in the hair. So I'll go through really quickly and detangle. I already sprayed a heat protectant in, and I just want my sections to be really easy to maneuver. So I'm going to be using the XL brushes for this part of the power dry, and I'm going to use the larger size barrel. This is an XL size by Olivia Garden. It gives you about 30% more real estate so you can get more hair on the brush. And then I'm going to drop it down a size so that way I can get the tendrils that I'm looking for to give a nice soft wave. So when I start out, I actually put it on high heat and high pressure. So this gives you high airflow. And I'm really putting a lot of air in the hair by lifting the hair up, getting inside the roots. And you want to think of hair as multiple fabrics. So I talk about the roots of the hair being more like silk or satin. It doesn't need a lot of tension. It doesn't need a lot of pulling. You really want to move that fabric around and kind of give it a little bit more grit. So by going in and power drying the root area, this is just going to save you a lot of time. Since I'm going for high volume, I'm going away from the cuticle, away from the face. I'm lifting everything up as I'm power drying all around the hairline. Once I start to feel like the roots are about 75 to 80% dry, that's when I actually start incorporating the round brush. This is a step that you should not sleep on. This is the most important step, as a matter of fact, when you're wanting to save time on your blow dry. Now with the HP blow dryer, because it's ionic and ceramic, it really helps you with shaving down on your timing. It helps with polishing. The ceramic technology also helps with getting inside of the hair, so it pushes the water molecules off the hair. Ionic also pushes water molecules off the hair, and it's a negative ion. So we've got positive ions in our hair. That's what holds the moisture in. The negative ions is what helps to polish that down, give you that extra shine, and also the defrizzing. So this is how, with having the concentrator, the nozzle on the end of your blow dryer, makes a really big difference. So you can see I'm starting to get about 80% dry at the roots, about 60% dry through the mid to the ends. This is a good time now to incorporate the round brush. As I was saying before, I'm going with my larger round brush. And I'm going to throw some of the hair out of the way. I'm starting out with the sides. The reason I start out with the sides is not just for efficiency, but also when I'm blow drying a client's hair, I want them to see all the work that we did. So someone will feel a lot more comfortable if they see themselves in the mirror with hair that is dry and polished. And again, you can work on the polish later. Okay, so I'm going with the smaller barrel. Now I'm going to go in for my polish. So I'm going to grab, round it, and this is where I'm going to take my concentrator and just go a little bit slower. Slow and steady is going to be a better way to save on time rather than going quick. Now that I finished that, I can move on to the very next section with my larger round brush. So you will notice that I'm doing one section at a time. I'm not going through and doing the entire thing and then going back over it. Again, this is more time efficient if you're just working in quadrants and you're focusing on the sections that you're doing. This is a really large section, so once I finish getting some of the moisture out through here, I'm going to focus my concentrator more around the face. So giving high lift to the top, getting the back side of that section. When it gets about 75% dry, I drop it down and then I grab my smaller round brush. This is where I'm going for polish. Taking my time, slowing it down, bringing it toward the face, rounding it, slowing down even more so I can make sure that I just get that polish for the very end. Now I'm going to just jump straight to the top because I have this whole section here. I'm going to bring everything straight up because I want to go for max volume at the top. I'm really focusing. You can see where I'm grabbing the section and I'm focusing on just the roots to the mids. I'm not even worried about the ends yet. The ends dry faster because, like I was saying with different fabrics, the root is kind of like silk or satin. As you get closer to the ends, it's more like wool. So it dries faster. You don't have to worry about putting so much heat on it. That's where you really focus on your polish. By the time I finish this, you might notice that the ends are already about 75% dry, so it's ready for the next step. Another little trick with the blow dryer is you just really want to make sure that your concentrator with your nozzle is not directly on top of the brush, but it's to the side of the brush. You want to go with the airflow, so that's what's going to really help you with your polish. Now we're jumping over to the other side. Again, I'm going to throw that top section out of the way. You can always use a clip too to help you if you need it. But in this situation, because her hair is so long, gravity helps me out. Again, you're just going in to give it some direction. You're starting the polishing techniques, but then you're really going to be finishing it off with the smaller brush. You can see how my concentrator is not directly on top. It's going with the flow of the brush. So when you're used to jumping from one tool to the next, it makes it a little less chaotic and it feels a little more organized this way. If you have too much hair in the brush, then don't worry, you can re-grab, but just keep in mind, the wider the brush, the bigger the section you can take. And again, the purpose of this larger brush is just to get the moisture out of the root area and just begin that polishing, getting as much moisture out of the hair as I possibly can, so then I can go into my polish. Ready to drop down to our other side. Pick up the hair, and now I'm going to begin my shaping. You can see now that I'm in the back area, and I'm going to start working from the bottom up. And what I like to do is I actually go with a diagonal back section instead of clipping everything out of the way. I'm just going to clip the side out of the way so I can get to what I need to. Again, I don't have to worry about taking small sections here. Most of it's power dried now. So all I want to do is start guiding the beginning parts of the polish. I'm holding the blow dryer by the neck here, which is easier for me to get the type of tension that I need. And then once I drop it down, it's prepped and ready now for my next brush. So I'm going to go with a smaller one. I'm going to subdivide this just because it's a pretty large section. And I'm going to start turning everything away from the face. I'm going to polish, give it a twist, polish it some more, and just keep twisting down until I get to the end. Now you can see that's mostly dry, so I can drop my section, I can drop my round brush size down now. So I have 1, 2, and the third one on the other side is done. Again, I'm going to turn it away from the face. Concentrator is just focused on the edge of the brush, going in the direction I want it to go in. Grab this last section here, drop that hair in, give it a nice twist. The trick with the twist, by the way, is not in your wrist. It's actually using your fingers. So if you grab the hair here and turn your fingers slightly, it guides everything through. And it also helps you be a little bit more efficient as well. Again, diagonal back section directly above that. I'm going to use my bigger round brush. Start out with my prep work. And then I'm going to pick it up with my pinky, hold on to it, and then I'm going to drop my brush right over the top. Again, turn with your fingers, not with your wrist. Diagonal back section. Jump back to my larger round brush. Capture all that hair in one giant section. Jump over to my other brush and split these in two. Starting with the center, taking my time, twisting it with my fingers, walking it out, and polishing it down. Again, everything's going to be higher, elevated up, so I'm going to stand to the side of the head. So that way I can capture all of this hair in the same spot. I'll go on both sides of that section as well, on the very top on each side. smaller round brush. Just parting one off to the side here. This I'm gonna take and twist away from the face, so it's gonna go in toward the middle of the section. And then I'll jump over to the other side to polish off that very last one. I'm gonna drop it down to 1, and I'm gonna keep the high pressure for now, and then I'll drop the pressure down in just a moment. So all I'm gonna do is just grab a couple of sections here that I wanna see a tiny bit more polish on. This is where I'm gonna go more mids to ends. I'm just gonna tell it to calm down a little bit. And this is also where you can use your cool shot button as well, right when you get to the very end. I like to use the cool shot button when I get to the parts that are a little bit more on the frizzy or dry side. You can see where that automatically just made everything kind of come together. So there you have it, that 10-minute blowout. And with all this hair, if you have shorter hair, then great news. You could probably do it even shorter time frame. Just keep in mind to do the 3 Ps to prep, power dry, and polish. Make sure that you work through in your diagonal sections. Take your time when it comes to polishing, push that power shot at the end. I will link all of the tools that I use in the description below, and make sure that you hang out for our next video. Comment below and tell me if this helped you out, and if you have any future videos that you would like to request, then also let me know. Thanks so much for hanging out.